Hello everyone, it is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another review. So this is going to be a review of Spyro 3. So, first things first, as always, I am not professional. I am not a professional video game reviewer. I'm just a man who enjoys a good time, and I definitely had a good time revisiting Spyro 3 here. So, I streamed Spyro 3, at least the reignited version, over on Twitch, so follow me there, here at the Ndiddy. I changed the name, so it's the Ndiddy, THEE_Ndiddy. So go follow me there, and then turn that bell on so you know when I go live and everything. But back to this game, it was pretty fun for the most part, aside from a few things, but we're gonna get right into it. So, like the other Spyro games, this is going to be kind of a twofold review, because we're going to be mainly talking about the Reignited here. So, the first pro and con section is going to be about just Spyro, Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon as a game, just as a game, the pros and cons of it as a game. And then the second part is going to be the pros and cons of how they did it in the Reignited version, which kind of a spoiler, I guess, but they didn't really change much for Reignited, which isn't a bad thing, but they didn't really change much for Reignited. For the most part, things were kept pretty much the same, aside from a couple things, which we'll get into. So, starting off with the pros, I do like how a lot of Spyro's moveset is still there. You still have the head bash and the wall climb and the swimming ability that you had in Spyro 2 that you had to unlock and everything, and then you have it here in Spyro 3. And I also like that now, instead of having to redo the level to get to a certain point, and whenever you finish a level in Spyro 3, a section will open and a pathway will open and to the end of the level, so you can just head right to the end and if there's a specific section that's like close towards the end and everything, you can just do that as normal, and not everything respawns. So the enemies will still respawn and everything, but you don't have to redo challenges again if you don't want to, which this time, the mini game sections and mini challenges and everything, it's not like Spyro 2 where it was in the level, you had to go like find the area and everything. No, now it's sectioned off into its own little area, its own little like mini portal that you can go through and everything, which is pretty nice. And I do like how it's sectioned off now, so you don't have to actually run into an area to take care of it. You can just head right to there. The only exception is the characters. There's their specific levels and everything, which we'll obviously get to their specific levels, but you probably won't go back in there anyway. You probably won't need to unless you want to grab some extra gems or you just play as a character again. But you will have multiple opportunities to play as a character, but like I said, we'll get to that. The music is pretty good as well. Stuart Copeland, of course, returns for the third time for the Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 3, I should say. So he returns once again and composes the music and everything. And especially like this one, because compared to Spyro 2, where it was a bit more mellow and everything, and it's still pretty fun to listen to. Spyro 3, a lot of the music is a lot more upbeat and energetic and everything. There's a lot more life into it and everything, which is very nice. Although there is a bit of an issue with the music, but we'll get to that obviously. And then I do like how there's a variety of things to do. There's different challenges. There's some puzzles and everything, and there's a lot to do within levels and everything. And the collectible this time is the dragon eggs, which were stolen from our realm, the dragon realm, so we have to go and get those back. And those are the main collectibles. It's not two collectibles like in Spyro 2, where it's like the talisman and the orbs and everything. Now this time it's just the dragon eggs, so you just get those, and obviously the gems and everything. I do like the speedways. The speedways are a lot more fun as well. I feel like they've been improved upon even more by Spyro 2. Now the speedways are actually kind of fun, almost. I still don't really like them that much, but they're a lot more fun than like Spyro 2, and they are definitely a lot more fun than Spyro 1. The speedways, I do like how they become progressively better as the series goes on. And in each of them you can find Hunter, and he'll have to and you can do like a bonus challenge with him to get the dragon egg, and so you pretty much get like 3 eggs. You get one for completing the race and everything, and then I should say completing like the time attack and everything, and where you get the obstacles and stuff like that, and then you can race with some of the denizens within that speedway, and then there's the 100 challenge. So 3 eggs now in total to get from the level. So there's a lot of eggs to collect. I believe there's 151, if I'm not mistaken, eggs to collect. So there's a lot to collect and a lot to do compared to like the 40 orbs that you got from Spyro 2, which is very nice and everything. And some of the eggs are easy to find. Some well, a lot of the eggs, I should say, are easy to find. You can get him just by traversing the levels. The rest you gotta get from like the mini games, or you get at least 1 or maybe 2 in the character levels and everything. In terms of what I didn't really like about the game, there was a few issues that I had. For starters, there's the main boss, which is the sorceress. I feel like out of all 3 Spyro villains, she may be I don't know if she is the weakest. She may be in the middle. I think I'll put her squarely in the middle because honestly, now that I think about it, at first I wanted to put her at the end, and normally my rank would be like Ripto, Nasty Nork, Sorceress. But now that I think about it, at least she didn't run from Spyro. They had like an actual battle. It wasn't like a chase like with Nasty Nork and everything. But now that we're playing it, she's actually fighting Spyro, and they actually had cutscenes with her. We didn't really get that with Nasty Nork. It was more so, okay, you did this thing. Oh, okay, run along now. That's how they did in the first game, at least. But at least this time around, she has cutscenes where we see her doing villainous stuff. So that's nice, at least. But otherwise, she's kind of a forgettable villain, I feel like. And her methods make almost no sense. The fact that she wants the magic, she needs the magic from the dragons, and because the dragons used to live where the game takes place in the Forgotten Realms. But she's the one who banished them in the first place. Like, why'd you banish them then? If you need their magic, why did you banish them? And I also didn't like how her apprentice Bianca, who does come to our side and everything, didn't like how she was like, wait a minute, you're gonna kill the dragons? It's like, she's a villain. She's kidnapping. She's already kidnapping dragons. She had you kidnap the dragons and everything. And what'd you think? What'd you think was going on and everything? And like, did you really put it past her? But I do wish we got a little bit more from the sorceress. Her and Spyro do not interact at all throughout the game. At least when Spyro defeats Nasty Nork, at least Spyro says something to Nork. He says, "You're toast, Nork," and then that's it. But her and Spyro have no interaction throughout the game, which does kind of suck. I can't lie, it definitely does kind of suck. And the other major issue is that the game was rushed. Spyro 3 was rushed, unfortunately. Sadly, it would not be the last time that rushed developments would plague the Spyro the Game series. Oh no siree. But the game, unfortunately, was rushed, and it was evident in a few things. One of the main things is the music. So, in the original version, a lot of the tracks weren't finished yet, so they either had to substitute them, for different tracks, pretty much. So, for example, with a lot of the Midnight Mountain levels had soundtracks from the Samurai Spring those levels. So a lot of them got reused, and a couple of them did fit, I will say, but a lot of them did sound out of place. But by the time we got the Greatest Hits version, a little bit later on down the line, we were given like brand new tracks and unique tracks for the levels and everything, and some of them weren't too unique. For example, what they did in the original for like Lost Fleet and Evening Lake is that they used the theme they would use in Super Bonus Round, but then when we got to Greatest Hits version, they actually just used like the Sheila's Alp theme, but instead they did a little remix of it and stuff like that, and they called it a day from there. But otherwise, a lot of the tracks ended up getting reused, and it really sounded out of place. Now, The Spyro version I had, I grew up with the greatest hits version, and I didn't realize this at first. I think what my dad did when he bought the PlayStation and bought Spyro way back in the day, he probably bought the 3-pack of like the original trilogy of Spyro games for PS1. So he got like the greatest hits versions of the games, like the final like finished versions of the games and everything. But then, well, I actually learned about these track differences when I played the Spyro games ported to PS3. So when I got older and I wanted to play Spyro, once again, I got the ports that they had for PS3. And Spyro 1 and 2 were obviously fine and everything, but then Spyro 3, when I heard the tracks, I was like, wait a minute, that track doesn't belong there. What's that doing there? Is this a glitch or something? And then I looked online, and that's when I learned the lore behind, the missing tracks and the tracks that had replaced everything. And I was a bit shocked, I must say. But, yeah, be that as it may, thankfully, what they did in Reignited is they gave us, like, the greatest hits tracks and, reignited them and everything, and gave us those versions, which is good. But Rush Development Kids, definitely not good. Definitely not good. But I'd rather have a delayed game and it be good, and instead of like a game which rushed, which is bad. And I forgot who said it, but it said a delayed game is eventually good, a rush game is forever bad. I forget who exactly said that, which is a bit ironic when you think about it, considering the Spyro Reignited trilogy ended up getting delayed. It was supposed to come out September 14th, I think, of 2018. It ended up releasing November 13th. No, it was supposed to come out September 21st. I remember because it was like a couple weeks after Spider-Man, but then November 13th we ended up getting the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I pre-ordered it and everything, and thankfully I pre-ordered it after the date changed, so it didn't really affect me too much, but I imagine some people were probably upset by it. But at least it wasn't rushed, because it might have been bad. But in terms of Reignited, what they did, like I said, they didn't really change too much, and I do like that. And I guess that is the pro, is that they didn't really change too much. A lot of stuff was kept pretty much the same, which is good. Rush Development aside, is still a pretty fun game for the most part. Aside from another con like the original, some of the mini games really did suck. For example, the Twin Dragons in Fireworks Factory, or both the actual little mini games they had in Haunted Tomb, both like the hovercraft one and the slide and everything, which 90s games, they love their going through the rings, and they love their first person shooters, and they love like slides and stuff like that. Between this and then another one in Crystal Islands, also in Midnight Mountain here in Spyro 3, and then also in Super Mario 64, that one had like I think 2 or 3 slides, but yeah, slides were popular, I guess, back in the day. But yeah, back to Reignited, a lot of stuff was kept pretty much the same, for better or for worse. In terms of what I didn't really like, what I think they messed up on, is some of the camera issues were, camera issues. For example, in Desert Ruins, there's a section where you're climbing up a ladder, but one of the enemies can spew flames that can heat up the ladder. So what happens is that the camera pans up, and you look up to see where the monster is and everything. And once you get to the top, you can take him out with the charge and everything. The thing is, in the Reignited, the camera never pans up, so instead, you aren't really able to look up. You kind of just have to look where he's already spewing the flames, and then just hop. This is pretty much what I did. I hopped willy-nilly back and forth between the ladders and pretty much just hoped for the best. And usually, if he flamed a certain area and the flame was done and everything, I would just go on that ladder and everything. But otherwise, yeah, not good. They should have just had the camera pan up and everything, because that was the whole point of that. That's why they did it that way. When I was taken out, it looked really weird, and sometimes the camera got in the way and everything. And yeah, but that's really about it. Now, something that's a bit of a gray area, both in the original and the Reignited, is the bonus characters. So we get 4 extra characters, 5 if you count Sparks, because now he has his own levels and everything. We get Sheila the Kangaroo, who's able to jump pretty high and is able to kick things with her feet and everything. In which she is the fastest out of the 4 characters, which is nice, and she does have the most height, which is good, and she's able to kick things, which is also nice. Sergeant Bird, he's able to fly. He's able to fly infinitely. He pretty much everywhere. He can like rise and descend and everything, and he can shoot rockets. Which in the original he just shot straight, but then in the reignited they were actually like homing rockets, which you could hit the enemies, except they didn't always hit the enemies. Sometimes they would like try to home in and then just end up hitting the wall or something, which was pretty annoying. Then you got Bentley, the giant Yeti, he's the slowest out of all 4 characters, and he can use his clubs, and he can push blocks, and he can like reflect snowballs that you'll use in one level, his own level. And then there's Agent 9, the trigger-happy monkey, who is able to shoot things with his laser gun. He has a sniper mode, he can lob bombs and stuff like that. So, different characters who play pretty much differently. A lot of setbacks and drawbacks with them, but for the most part they're okay. And then Sparks, which he has like top-down shooter sections, and where you can go about in like little mini levels. It's usually not that many gems, it's usually only 1 egg, and then at the end of each section there's a boss you can fight as well. So there's that, and for the most part they did their job, and they were able to work okay within the game and everything. We would get more playable characters in the Spyro series as it went on, and some of these characters would reappear in later Spyro games, but that was about it for them in Spyro 3. But that is going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about my review. Did you agree or disagree with my sentiments, and let me know why. And follow me on Twitch at @TheNDiddy. Once again, that's THEE_NDiddy. I'm not sure when I'll go live, and I'm not sure what I'll stream yet, so please let me know in the comments below what game you want to see me stream next, and I'll consider it. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.